welcome to the 911 Strong podcast. We've got a good one for you today. Today we're going to talk about responsible parenting. What age is too early to have your kids on social media? We'll discuss this and a lot more on the next episode of the 911 Strong podcast.
Station to all units.
Prepare to copy.
You're listening to the 911 Strong podcast.
Don't act like I never told you.
With Aram and Kristen, bringing you stimulating discussion.
No, I like the sound of that.
An entertaining conversation.
And now, here's Kristen and Aram.
Hey guys, we're back. Welcome to the 911 Strong
911 Strong podcast.
It's been a rough day. Thank you. Go ahead, take over.
Poor dear had to sleep in today.
Kristen's taking over the show. I was just sitting here.
We're going to talk about responsible parenting. And maybe a responsible parent.
Yeah, maybe. But we got, it's a packed show, so we're just going to go right to it. But before we do, thank you guys for joining us on the 911 Strong podcast. I promise I'm going to try my best to talk normal today. You know what it is? English is my third language.
Third? Mm-hmm. Really? What's your first?
Korean.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Say something in Korean.
Something in Korean.
Fail.
Bulgogi.
Boogie?
Bulgogi.
Sounds like he's
It's
saying
Korean
boogie.
barbecue.
Is
It's
it?
delicious. Oh my gosh.
But, okay, so that's the name of a food. That's not speaking Korean.
It is speaking Korean.
It is not.
'Cause I would just say barbecue beef, and it's not Korean.
That doesn't
If I went to a Korean restaurant, I said barbecue
Say hi,
beef.
how are you?
안녕하십니까?
Okay.
You don't know if you don't know if I'm telling the truth or not, though.
I'm going to get out the translation dictionary.
Well, this is why we'll never get picked up on a major network. It's because we are not professionals at all. We're so jacked up.
Professional's boring.
It is. Anyway, no, I did speak Korean fluently as a kid because my grandmother, who spent a lot of time raising me, spoke only Korean. But my parents were, they were from the 70s, and they really were about assimilation. So that back then they were like, hey, you're going to be American. If we lived in Korea, you'd be speaking Korean. But they didn't have the foresight to understand how valuable speaking Korean would be. Because I could have traveled the country or been a business major or something.
Yeah. Okay. No. So that's two. So you have English and Korean. What's your third?
Oh, love.
Oh, jeez.
Yes. Yeah. What was that character from that Penguin movie?
Lovelace, yes.
Okay. I think we need to change
What are we even
subjects.
talking about today?
I don't know.
So today on the 911 Strong podcast, we're going to talk about love. Kind of.
Loving
we
your
love
children.
our kids. Yeah, we love our kids. So we're on social media. We're popular on social media for whatever reason. People like to follow us and see our goofiness. And then we get this a lot because we post our kids a lot on social media.
Yeah.
They wonder if we are worried about the repercussions of showing our kids, being affiliated with police and showing our kids. And I think to an extent they have a legitimate concern. But at the same time, I think you can get over paranoid. If people want to find you, they're going to find you.
Right. All your information's out there. It's not private.
Right. And if they want to get at you just because of your job and what you do, then that's on them.
Yeah.
There are people that hate us because we're police, but my philosophy is if we're treating people fairly, I've even had people thank me for arresting them. So that's how good I think I treat people. If I had a 5-star review attached to Officer Cho, I'd have 5 stars. Hey, that's what we should after we arrest people. It's like, would you mind taking this survey? Here's your release forms, and the bottom of the release form is a code.
How is our service?
Yeah. If you give me 5 stars, I can promote. Dan, what do you think, Danny? No?
I don't know how many stars Danny would
When
get.
did Danny learn sign language? He can't.
I know that he's holding back that horrible laugh of his.
He's not doing sign language, he's being a mime.
Oh my lord.
Danny, the Mexican mime. On the next episode of the 911 Strong podcast, Danny, the Mexican mime. If you hold in a laugh like that, Danny, it's going to come out the other way.
Oh, sweetness, no.
Yeah, you've ever seen that? Pressure has to release through one of your...
Better out the top than out the bottom.
You see people try to hold in a sneeze, it's like, and they hold it in, and it goes...
No.
Yeah,
No.
It happens.
And I hope I never hear that from you.
It's a physiological phenomenon.
Okay.
Well, I let out my sneezes. When I sneeze, it takes the skin off of people's backs. It's loud.
Oh my gosh, you're one of those.
Yeah. I can't hold it in. If I hold it in, I'm going to explode.
Yeah, but there's like exaggerated sneezes.
Yeah, mine's an exaggerated sneeze.
Oh, okay.
I can't do it on
Attention
here. I hope I
getter.
never do it on here because it's...
It'll blow my ears out.
Yeah, it'll blow. You see people on the freeway lane changing. And we on the local news. In other news, we had a 17-car pileup as members of the 10 freeway were listening to the 911 Strong podcast. All right, so what the heck are we doing here? What are we talking about?
Our kids.
How are we going
Our
to talk
kids
about...
and social media.
How are we going to talk about responsible parenting if we can't even handle a podcast responsibly?
You're the one going off topic
Well,
here, talking about sneezes.
My
and...
name's on the show, so I can. So is yours, though.
On in the big guns.
Oh,
Okay.
your name's on the show,
yeah,
too.
I'm there. Mhm.
Okay, but
And I have more letters in my name, so
Okay, it's true.
yeah.
All right, so the question we get a lot is, at what age should my kid have a social media account? Mm-hmm. And you and I are different with this because we both have teenagers, but we're a little bit different. I think your teenager is a little bit more mature than my teenager, so I don't know if she's ready to have social media yet.
Yeah.
This year we finally got her an iPod because she wanted a phone. I'm like,
Yeah.
You're not getting a phone.
Yeah.
But we found that, you know what, if she can handle progressing from the iPad to the iPod and using it like a phone, so when she's around Wi-Fi, it actually acts as a phone. She can
Yeah.
text. I said, we'll give you a trial period with that, and then we'll think about progressing to a phone.
Yeah.
How did you guys make that decision?
I think she actually had an Instagram when she was pretty young. I think she was 9 or 10,
That's
but it
pretty
was
young.
kept private.
Okay.
And we told her that she could only add immediate friends that we knew and immediate family members.
So you monitor it.
Yes, and we monitored everything. I had her passcode and all that stuff. Now,
Yeah.
as her being a teenager, things have kind of changed. She's 17 and a half, so
Now they know how to change passwords.
now they know to change passwords. Oh, and in case you didn't know, they make spam Instagram accounts so that their parents can't find it.
Yeah, I love spam.
I did find it, though.
I actually put that on my pizza if I make homemade pizza.
Yeah, not that kind of spam.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
what are we talking about?
It's like a fake Instagram account that they put a different name to it. It's not their own personal name. They put a different picture on there so you can't tell that it's them. And they talk a little bit more freely on there, and they have a closer circle of friends on
See, I
there.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, but as your teenager's mom, you have access to their device, right?
Yeah, so I ended up finding it
Oh, okay.
and getting rid of it.
Okay. So I'm glad that
Yeah.
you're going through that because you can tell me all the
Yeah,
things
no,
need
I
to know.
go through all their stuff. I mean, obviously, they're always going to find loopholes. We did as kids with the rules that were given to us. So they're going to do it, but...
I think ours were more predictable. Like,
Well, but there was no way of tracking us. Like, if I
Yeah.
ditched school, my parents had no idea I was
Right.
ditching.
Yeah,
Now
they-
I have an idea of when she's ditching.
and now they're calling people at home.
Well, and the different thing is me and her were talking about it because if she misses a class or if she's tardy, they call you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they used to do back in the day. But they call our cell phones because nobody has hard lines anymore.
Right.
So when we had hard lines when I was a kid, I'd pick it up and be like, oh, it was a telemarketer, Mom. Click.
Right.
And she would never know. I got away
Funny.
with it like for years.
Right.
And nowadays she can't because it's coming straight to my phone. And
So I
she
think
doesn't
I was
have
just
it.
a step ahead of that. They didn't call homes back then, but my mom was really involved in school activities,
Mm-hmm.
and her really good friend was my good friend's mom, Mrs. Jarvis, and she was the head records person. So she was the one that actually called.
Oh.
And so she would call my house, and both my parents worked. I'd answer the phone. Well, hey, Mrs. Jarvis, I don't feel well today. That's why I'm not in. Oh, okay. I'm sure your mom knows about it. Yeah, my mom's at work. She's like, you poor thing. She felt guilty that she was a stay-at-home mom and at school with her son.
You took advantage.
Yeah. So at the next morning, I'd show up. Oh, you know what? My mom forgot the letter, but you can call her if you want. No, that's not necessary.
Oh, I was bad. I forged the letters.
Yeah. Well, I think all of us have tried our hand at doing that.
Yeah.
It's funny. My penmanship was excellent when I had to forge my dad's name.
Oh yeah, I had my mom's down. I
Yeah.
did. I was kind of bad.
Yeah, we're conniving.
Not too
But you know
bad.
what? I'm glad.
But we turned out okay.
Yeah, and I'm glad we went through that because now we know the tricks our kids will want to pull on
Yeah.
us.
Oh
We
yeah, yeah.
Anticipate it all. So do you think it's important that as a parent you were experienced in all that stuff?
No, because we didn't deal with social media
Yeah.
stuff. So I think our generation of parenting is just kind of like, well, we're the first parents of all of that, of dealing
Yeah.
with kids dealing with it, you know, and that's what they live on now is all social media. So if I cut it out completely, I don't want to like hinder her like social experience or growing up. And I'm sure some people don't want to deal with it at all. And I get it, but it's probably because as well, they're not familiar with it. They don't know how to use it or how it works or whatever else. So if she's going to be on it, I want to know what she's doing and how it works.
Yeah.
So that's mostly why I was on it way back when.
That's a good point. You bring up two good points. Is we're the first generation of parents to actually do this. So there's no parenting manual. We can't ask our parents, hey, when we were doing this, how did you handle it? Because they didn't handle it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that aspect. We're writing the book on parenting as we go along. But the second thing you bring up that's really good is you need to keep up with social media yourself if you're going to allow your kids to be on social media.
Yeah.
So, and I think it does two things. It gives you the confidence in knowing what's going on social media, so you know what you're looking at when you look at their phones. But the second thing is it tells your kids, well, shoot, my parents are savvy. I'm not going to get away with it.
Yeah. I mean, there are some apps that you can pay for that like keep track of all of their history, like their internet history, their Instagram history, their logon history, all of that stuff. I don't know if it's changed because I had this maybe 3 or 4 years ago, but you cannot track Snapchat. So I don't know what you would call them, but Snapchat messages directed at them, like they disappear.
Right.
So you can't see what your child's sending or what they're getting in return.
Okay.
So that's the only app that I really don't care about.
Right.
And we did take that away for a long period of time.
Yeah, I never got into Snapchat, and
Yeah.
I'm slowly getting into TikTok right now.
Oh yeah, my youngest is on that one.
We're actually friends. Me and Sophie are friends on TikTok.
Yeah, Sophia has to teach Aram how to use
Yeah,
TikTok.
but she's my number one fan.
She is.
Yeah, she's always liking all my stuff. And here I'm this 42-year-old guy on an app that's dominated by the 10 to 16-year-old age group. But the reason why I think it's important to be on there now, especially if you're doing what we do, we're social media influencers. It's important to be on that platform because, like what Instagram did to Facebook, Facebook is considered. If you ask kids now, they'll say it's for old people.
Right.
But that's what we started with.
Right. No, MySpace.
Oh yeah, look what happened to MySpace, right?
MySpace is obsolete. Yeah.
MySpace is no space now.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, it's starting to kind of fall by the wayside for the older crowd. And now Instagram is like our age and a little bit younger. And then, TikTok is like our younger kids' age.
All right. So one of the guys we listen to, Gary Vee, he's if you don't know Gary Vee, he's a super motivational speaker and he's a social media guru. And he predicted what Instagram did to Facebook. And now he's also predicting TikTok will do the same thing to Instagram. So it's important to be there now.
So I try to understand how TikTok works and everything, but
it's a tough one.
It is kind of hard. There's some language on there I don't care for her to see
there's no
or to hear, I guess.
There's hardly a filter on there. So
I haven't found one.
Yeah. So that's interesting. Social media is one of those places where, so we homeschool our kids. So they're a little bit, I would say they're a little sheltered in that sense. I'm not afraid to admit it. We shelter them from that. But whatever social media interaction they do get is usually from YouTube. I don't let them have Instagram or anything like that. The agreement my wife and I made was when they turn 18 and they're adults, they can kind of ease into that. And if they have a phone, it's going to be because they paid for one. I'm not going to get them a phone. Number one, not that it's a parenting technique because I'm cheap. Phones are expensive.
Well, the only reason why we gave our kid a phone so young is because she was in gymnastics, and if we weren't always with her, we wanted her to have a phone.
Right, and
so that's why she had it. But it was like an old school flip phone. That's what we told her. If you're going to be responsible with this, then maybe we'll upgrade after a while.
That makes sense because you guys actually traveled miles to go to gymnastics.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, Chaselyn is an amazing gymnast, and so she went to a premier school far away from where you guys live.
Yeah.
So that makes sense, and that's what when Clee gets in driving age, which is in a couple of years, we will actually consider that.
Yeah.
Because my daughter, my oldest, is actually just started with gymnastics team, so she'll be
traveling
a little bit more. So we're considering doing the phone thing, and I just think she's at a different maturity level than your teenager was at her age. So she's a little bit more naive, and I'm gonna have to catch her up to speed, I think.
Yeah.
But that's why you can't really have a hard, fast rule on age.
Yeah, I think it varies with your kid and their personality.
It really does, because we've seen some really mature 16-year-olds and some really immature 16-year-olds. Which leads us to our next question. People have asked us, at what age is it appropriate to leave your kids at home by themselves?
Yeah.
And that goes back to, it's not really an age thing. Yeah, it's not a numbers thing. It's a maturity thing.
Yeah.
The youngest I've seen out in patrol actually was probably like a 13-year-old home alone. And it's like, the person I was with was like, hey, is it legal to keep a 13-year-old? I don't think there's an age, it depends on what state you're in, that says what's legal. It's we go by a standard of whether or not they're mature enough to call 911 if they need to. Yeah. Lock the door and not answer the door for strangers. And, I think if we got those things locked down, and it's not like the parents are gone for a week, they just went to the grocery store real quick or something. I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
And we're lucky that in our state, we're able to use the reasonable standard for that.
Yeah.
How old were you when you started leaving your oldest at home by herself?
I think Jason was around 12 or 13 when we would leave her. And again, that was like only just like you said to go to the grocery store and stuff like that. And then her sisters were younger, so I don't think we really left her home alone with her sisters till she was probably about 16. And again, it was only for short amounts of time, nothing really long. So, and now that she's 17, now we can leave her with the kids, and they're both old enough too to like know right from wrong. They're 10 and 7, and they're pretty savvy too.
Yeah.
So
it's hard. You've got to extend the leash just a little bit because you want to show them that you trust them, and they can't really mature if they're not learning, right? Sometimes you have to have these controlled mistakes or expected mistakes that they're going to make.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share this story. I didn't share it with you because it just happened the last couple of days, but somebody I speak to on Instagram messaged me and said, can you please pray for this child? It was a 15-year-old girl who went missing. And according to her and all her friends, she was a model teenager, right? Just very mature. And her son was devastated because he went to text her to get updated on a project they're working on together. And he didn't get a call back. And it was suspicious because it's not like her character. And then the last communication anybody had with her was at like 8:15 at night when she told her dad that somebody was following her.
Oh, geez.
And they lived in this rural part of Texas where there's a lot of ranches and stuff, and it was really dark. And there was really no reason to be out there by herself, and she was. And the next morning, they were obviously looking for her. They couldn't get a hold of her, and the next morning they found her phone abandoned in a field.
Oh, jeez.
So all day yesterday, can you imagine, it was just the police are looking for her, and they're praying. And this person was asking me for advice because she knows a police officer. And I said, the first thing I would look at is their social media. Because you always hear stories of teenage girls falling in love with boys or who they think are boys, going to meet them. And in the extreme cases, they're not meeting that boy. They're meeting somebody else who kidnaps them. And then we have a human trafficking case.
Oh, yeah.
So this morning I woke up to, good news. She was found.
Oh, good.
Everybody thought the worst because the way the story was set up, it's like her phone, I'm being followed and the phone gets dropped. Yeah. What teenager isn't attached to their phone?
Right. They don't leave it.
And so she said, you can't go into details, but please pray that this was a good lesson and that her friends and family will show grace. And so it sounds like it was something that she intentionally
concocted. Yeah.
So, if there's a positive there, it's that there's a lesson to be learned, not just in her little bubble, but her friends. Yeah. Because the whole school knew about it. Yeah. And some of the kids were at their school were giving her a hard time. And she was telling her son, being so sweet, was like, hey, can we go bake her a cake and let her know that she does have some support out there?
Oh, that was sweet of him. Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, Danny, keep it down over there. Jeez. That's why we can't have an audience.
No. Speaking of children.
Wouldn't that be cool one day if we did this live?
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, and had an audience and we can actually
interact with them. Yeah, that would be cool.
I think that's
one day down the line, guys.
Live show. We're gonna have to work on that because we do have venues that have offered us to be in their shop to do a podcast. I just didn't think it was doable because.
Oh, maybe for a 1-year anniversary.
Maybe because we do these and you saw the opening. Like we can't even get that right.
I'd be stumbling all over my words, especially with the crowd.
Okay, so besides social media, what other things do we think? I think we talked about driving a little bit. In California, the legal age is 16. Yeah. Do we think that's mature enough to drive?
I mean, again, I think it goes to the kid because we were driving. Yeah. Well, I was driving with my permit at 15. Yeah. And then when we were younger, as soon as you were 16, you got your DL, you can hit the road with your friends.
Such a dispatcher.
Sorry, with your driver's license. Sorry. You just hit the ground running and took off with your friends. Right. I remember I piled up everybody in my Suburban and we took off. Yeah. And then now with the kids, they have to drive. Well, the permit I think is 6 months. And then they have to drive for a year after having their license without anybody in the car. Right, and then they can, So it goes down to maturity.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They're going to crash at some point, and they're going to, I mean,
and that's another
inevitable.
thing that you have to expect. That's another one of those lessons you have to expect is going to happen down the line, and your insurance rates go up. Mm-hmm. That's one thing I dread.
Or they're going to get pulled over.
Yeah, my dad's a cop.
Actually, you know what? She's probably going to get mad I share this story, but she did get pulled over, and I don't think she threw out that Danny was a cop.
What?
She didn't. She didn't use the cop card.
Good.
Yeah, no, I'm proud of her. I know I got pulled over. I didn't throw out my dad's name. I was like, just give me the
why
ticket.
She didn't. She was like, do you know who my dad's friend is? Do you have Instagram? She doesn't even talk like that. So that's my universal teenage voice.
But yeah, no, she got out of the ticket, though. The guy was really nice to her and let her go. She was very apologetic and respectful, so she says.
And I think that goes a long way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a huge thing. If you're going to be a jerk about it, then you're going to get a ticket.
I don't know. I think if I pulled over a teenager and said, my dad's a cop, I'll be like, okay, let's call your dad.
Yeah.
And I think whatever I tell dad is going to be a lot worse than...
Oh, yeah, dad's going to say, okay, give her the ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah. What else? What other driving, social media, phones?
For kids, letting them go out on their own.
Ooh. Yeah, the world's different now. It's a scary place. When I was growing up, same as you, we were out till... whenever, until it was bedtime. And it was completely fine.
No, I'm still paranoid. I don't like her going anywhere by herself.
Yeah.
At least like walking and stuff. I know she went to ride her bike to school, and I was like, no. But there's so much human trafficking stuff going on, and I don't know. I'm just paranoid. And I think that comes with our job. Unfortunately, we're maybe a little bit more strict just because of all the stuff we hear and see.
Are you ever afraid that you're too paranoid because of our job? Do you think you don't know if you're being paranoid or if you're just being a parent?
I like to say I balance it out pretty good because I try to play like devil's advocate or play both ends of it, and I don't know if it's good, right, wrong, or bad, but because I think my parents kept me so sheltered, I try to talk to her as to why I'm telling her what she can and cannot do, and I give her my reasonings. Not that she's owed that or anything, but I just want her to know my thought process.
Do you think what you watch, not just at work, but what you watch on TV and the movies has an impact on how you think? Because you mentioned human trafficking.
Yeah. Well, I watch, because I don't get enough of it at work, but I watch a lot of like the crime shows and stuff like that. So maybe that does make me a little bit more paranoid. Yeah,
I would agree. So I took a human trafficking class, and I didn't know this. I thought it was just something that you see like in Russia or Eastern Europe or Mexico. But a lot of it happens here.
Yeah.
I mean, the domestic human trafficking is rampant. It's one of the fastest growing crimes out there against people. And the crazy thing is that a lot of it's sourced through social media.
Yeah, because their kids are easily gullible.
Yeah. And what gets me creeped out is that Taken movie with Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it can happen to Liam Neeson's kid, it's going to happen.
It can happen to anybody's.
Yeah. But I've got my, I'm ready. So if they ever call me, I'm going to do the whole, I got the script down already, so.
I don't know what you want, but if you're looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have is a very particular set of skills.
All right, let's say that for another day.
I don't know who you are.
Oh my gosh.
But if you want tacos.
You sound more like the guy from Princess Bride, Inigo Montoya.
Oh,
that guy.
Inigo Montoya. You killed my father and prepared to die.
Yes, that guy.
My father told me of a man with 6 fingers. And I'm looking at your hand. And I think I'm counting 6 fingers.
Okay, I made that line up. He did have 6 fingers, but I don't remember.
He did. He was a 6-fingered man.
Incidentally, one of the best movies. Well, it's the movie that got Liz to marry me.
Oh, really?
So our second date.
Tell her you're Wesley.
As you wish. But I recommend this to everybody. I put that up there with Grease. It's one of those classic movies.
It is
you
a
have
classic.
To see.
Yes.
So if you're out there, you've never seen The Princess Bride. It has Andre the Giant in there, so it's got to be good.
Yeah, it was good. I actually the other day saw that they wanted to do a remake, and I was mad that they threw it out there. I'm like, nope, you cannot remake that. Simply inconceivable.
We're such dorks. Why do I remember that crap?
Because it was an amazing movie.
It's because I have a particular set of skills.
Oh, sweetness.
All right, well, we're digressing.
Okay, what else?
I think we covered it pretty good without going to issues that will piss off our audience. I don't know. Inevitably, there's going to be someone that says, "Well, I love my 12-year-old." We're not judging it. What we're saying is, like, personally, I wouldn't let my 14-year-old on social media because she's not there
Right.
emotionally and maturity-wise, but yours are, and the people listening, their kids might be. And at the same time, we're not telling you that there's a perfect age that, to start. We don't know. But what we are telling you is at whatever age you let them go on social media or drive a car, you've got to be there. You got to be the parent. Part of being a parent is actually having a parent.
You got to be in the know.
Right. And
Yeah.
And the cool thing about parenting is making mistakes isn't a bad thing. It's a lesson.
Yeah, and it doesn't make you a bad parent because, again, we're the first generation dealing with this, so there's no right or wrong. We're just still wading in the waters trying to figure it out. And then by the time they're 18, you don't want to hold the reins so tight that it snaps and they just go nuts with their social media and they have no education on it or anything else.
Yeah. I think, I feel bad for them when they have to go through their lessons of scams and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And you and I know.
Yeah.
Did something beep?
Probably Danny again. Maybe.
This one's flashing.
It's flashing.
Maybe better.
Anyway.
Sorry, guys.
Hurry up.
Before we have a catastrophic event here, we should probably tie this all in. But,
Okay.
Anyways, we would love to bring this subject up again, maybe with a subject matter expert. So
Yeah.
If you or someone you know is a subject matter expert in the field of raising children, we would love to have you on. We're always looking for guests on our show. So we know people exist that are smarter than us. Hard to believe. I mean, hard to believe that there's anybody with an IQ higher than us. But yeah, if you do exist out there, if you can find someone, we'd like to know. And you can always reach out to us at info@911strong.com or reach out to us personally. You can DM Kristen on her social media accounts at
Dispatcher Kristen.
and her very own email address at what the hell?
I forgot it. Kristen at 911strong.com.
And she spells Kristen with an E.
The dog just opened the door.
I have a particular set of skills.
Sorry.
What the hell is going on here? Maybe it was because I brought Liam Neeson in the thing.
I don't think she liked it. She's telling you to stop.
Goodness gracious. Maybe I should have done Optimus instead.
That'll be for our next podcast.
Autobots. I had to do it.
Okay.
Autobots. No, just kidding.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, follow us on social media. Email us. We got to end this show. It's getting crazy.
Sorry, guys. We're on a good one today.
Not even kidding. We're drinking bubblies.
We are drinking bubbly.
Oh, my gosh. You know what goes great with bubblies, by the way? My new favorite snack.
Strawberries?
No, rugged meats.
Oh.
Meat sticks.
Yes.
We all know how important
Meats and
protein-
bubblies.
Meats and well, in my ice cooler or carry at work, I actually just keep a handful of rugged meat and beef sticks in there. Rugged meat beef sticks. Because they're good. They're
good.
They're not like Slim Jims. They're not the convenience store brand. They're actually premium meats. The one I had recently stuffed in there was a wild boar, and it's not gamey at all. It's pork.
Yeah.
But it's such lean pork.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good, and it's individually packaged. They hold real well. I stick them in my war bag. I stick them in my lunch bag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I take them camping with us.
Yeah.
They hold you over because it's got so much more protein than those Slim Jims.
Yes.
Those Slim Jims are filled with like leftover meat parts.
Horrible.
It's gross. I
It
didn't
is.
want to tell you what
It's
what
nasty.
it is.
You want to know what's left in
Right,
there.
but like the same meat that
Like hot dogs.
Yeah, but the same meat that you would get from like a cut of steak, like
I think his dog Jesse likes the rugged meats
Yeah.
too. I heard sriracha.
a cut of steak. Oh, it's a sriracha flavor.
It's
My
amazing.
kids actually love that
Yeah.
one. But it's the same meat that you would get ground from a sirloin steak. So you're getting premium
Yeah,
product.
it's good stuff. It's pure stuff.
Security let my dog in here. Yes. Gosh. Now it knows how to close the door. But yeah, so yeah, rugged meats, absolutely. If any of our listeners want to get rugged meats, they can actually get it at a discount at ruggedmeats.com.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put the link in the show notes, but you can actually use code 911strong. They were nice enough to extend that to our listeners.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you're not paying for Slim Jims, so you're not going to get Slim Jims.
You're paying for real stuff at a lower rate.
Right. It's like having a steak.
And it's a
prepackaged
family-owned
for you.
business too.
Yeah, it's actually a firefighter family that owns it, and it's a
Yes,
firefighter.
we support firefighters too,
Yeah,
guys.
But they're Christian. They're a small business family, and I have a soft spot in my heart for that because
We're all for it.
We're small business owners. But yeah, get yourself some rugged meats.
Yeah. Sriracha and jalapeno.
Two of my
Can't go
favorite.
wrong with those.
All right. Well, hey guys, thanks again for joining us on the 911 Strong podcast. We know you guys have your choice to listen to anything while you're on the road or with your families and friends. And we just appreciate the fact that you guys have tuned in. So don't hold it to yourselves. Don't be selfish with it. Tell your friends about us. Subscribe to our channel. Give us 5 stars. Leave us a review and download our podcast and share us with your friends because I said so. All right, that ends the show, guys. Thanks for joining us again.
Thank you. We appreciate it so much.
What's wrong with you?
I know.
What did you give this woman?
It's the dog.
I'm sorry.
We need to work on a catchphrase.